It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast, just over the 100 mark hump.
Woo!
Woo!
Our 102nd episode. I think
we were just like, it's like our virginity was born again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it exactly. Just like that.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm pooped. I'm just, it's plus it's allergy season. In Tallahassee, the pollen as big as your head freaking is flying all over the place, and that just wears everybody down, makes everybody else sneezy, and kind of makes you a little bit, I don't know, just like my sinuses don't really hurt, but they're just aggravated, so it kind of makes you feel like your head's floating above your body.
Yeah.
Allergy head, I guess.
Yeah.
So if I'm more spacey than usual, that's why I've got pollen head.
Pollen head, you're a little pollen head.
How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm feeling okay. But I have a hilarious and embarrassing story to tell you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we all know that Baker has had strep on in his tushy, and before.
Yes.
So evidently it's
which I'd never heard of before.
Back again. Hello. Oh, no. I think, well, we don't know because we had a really bad snowstorm here. So like the dock, like a lot of places were closed. Baker had snow days 2 days in a row, which is very common for Denver to have any snow days, much less 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Because we got 2 feet of snow. And so
that's right. Yeah. I saw that on the news.
So I called, I was like, hey, I don't know if he needs to be brought in or what. And they're like, I'll just call you in something. And I was like, perfect. And we just noticed it was red, and he was like complaining about it being itchy, and we're like, well, dang it. And so it just looks like it did, not as bad as it has in the past. So we got an antibiotic for him, but in the meantime, his tushy periodically itches. It's not consistent. It's just like randomly and then he just starts losing his mind with like sadness. And so I walked downstairs and I'm like, Brad, what? Because he was like causing some big commotion. Like Brad got him upset about something, and then I guess it made his butt itch. I don't know. And I walked downstairs and Baker's scooting across the floor.
Oh no, like your dog does?
I was
when your dog has a...
Yeah, I was like, what the... And then Brad's like, well, I told him to do that. Yeah. He's like, it's better than like him sticking his fingers, like scratching his butt crack. And I was like, but is it though? But is it? Because like he's going to go to school and now do this. And They're going to think we're terrible. And then other kids are going to do this because he's doing it. I was like, we are those parents that have just now translated the entire, like introduced this new weird act. And I was like, you realize like you've turned our child into a dog. Right?
Oh my God.
He's now a dog. Like yeah, he just randomly like will start scooting across the floor.
Does it make him feel better?
I guess.
It's just a fun activity overall, in addition to relieving the itch.
I just am like, what the?
Oh, poor Baker with the strep. Like you don't have any like leftover. Like how did you cure it the last time? Did they give you
antibiotics? Antibiotics.
Oh, so like truly just take an oral antibiotic?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh my God. By the way, if you hear like these big loud booms, I don't know if you can hear them on your end, but Lucas has inherited the door slam from Jerry. So in and out, slam, 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 slam. And it's right below my studio here. So slam, 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 slam. Jerry can slam a door open. So but between the two of them, I don't know what's going on. But in case you're hearing these weird, like thunderous booms, that's what they are. I don't listening. So, but anyways, I'm surprised that it's an oral antibiotic that works for your tushy.
Well, I guess it's, I don't know. Like, and it's fine. I mean, this morning it looks back to normal, and it has. Every time we start him on antibiotics, it looks back to normal. But last night he was just itching so bad. I think he just itched himself raw.
Yeah.
In a spot. Aww. So like that spot's very, I think, tender.
Oh,
And so, yeah, I know. I'm just like, buddy. Ah,
It's like that Charmin commercial, you know, with
when
the
itches.
bears and their itchy butts.
Yeah.
Of course, the mom bear is more concerned than the dad bear. Dad bear
course.
probably doesn't even notice.
No, he tells him to scoot across the floor.
Exactly. Just scoot across the floor, son.
I was just like, Brad, why? I said, I'm talking about this on the podcast. I hope you know. And I hope you know that people are going to judge you.
You will be judged. I think that's funny. Well, you just tell his school teachers that, you know, he learned it from, well, you don't have a dog anymore.
My husband also scoots his ass across the floor.
Yeah. Actually, funny story about how we met.
Gross. Yeah. So that's my and Brad, I called him this morning. I was like, yeah, so you know, and we just were dying laughing because it's a sad situation. I feel so horrible for Baker, but like it's a funny.
Well, yeah. It's funny when
you gotta laugh about it because you just cannot. Yeah.
No,
Anyways.
Exactly.
Anyway, so there's your little embarrassing parent moment for the week.
And there will be plenty more. Meanwhile, my 18-year-old has hickeys all over his neck. Yes.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm like, son, what's going on over here? You've got like some like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean,
we're in Florida. He can't wear a turtleneck, and he's like, it's almost like I think he thinks it's like a badge of honor. He does have a girlfriend.
I feel like that's that age is kind of that thing.
Yeah, where you think you're cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm like so hormone driven. Look,
I know. I've been trying to get my mindset into that 18-year-old mindset, and I have to really look back and think like things that I did when I was 18. Like I remember actually calling my dad from college and being like, I remember all these people. I'm joining the Navy. I don't know if my dad even remembers that, but I did do that. So when Luke does something kind of impulsive and weird and where I'm just like, oh my God, why can't you be normal? I got to think about stuff that I did when I was 18. And
totally.
Yeah, it wasn't all, it was not perfect.
I was also not perfect.
I will admit that now, a few years later, I was not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did do stuff like that and stuff like, you know, getting mad at my friends and not speaking to them. And
I still do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that doesn't really go away, does it?
I think it's really just like, I need some space from you. Like stop. Like we just need some space. And it's just like stupid. It doesn't happen often. Don't get me wrong. Like it does not happen often, but it definitely happens.
Well, like he got mad at his friends. He was at the beach about an hour and a half away and went down there to join some other friends that were staying at I don't know where, it was some weird place. Anyway, so I couldn't get the gist of the exact argument, but he kind of got in an argument with them and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to drive home. So he came home and I wasn't expecting him to come home because he was supposed to spend the night there. And I was like, hey, is everything okay? And he said, yeah. We just kind of, you know, so-and-so was pissing me off. So I just decided I was just going to come home. And I said, well, that's the best way to handle it rather than, you know, getting this huge knockdown drag out. Just be like, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation. And he wasn't, I mean, he was upset, but he wasn't like destroyed. And he'll probably speak to those friends again next week. If not, he's not already, you know?
Yeah.
But again, I kind of remember doing that when I was younger. That just getting like, you're not always going to have these, you know, hunky-dory relationships. And yeah, maybe even as you get older too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. We digress.
And then some friendships you realize like they're just toxic and you just need to stop being friends.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And then you just stop being friends. And then you're like, holy cow.
What a relief.
I know. My outlook is so different.
Yeah, I actually just did that with someone not too long ago.
Not me, thankfully.
Yeah, it wasn't you, or we wouldn't be talking. But yeah, it was one of those where it's just like the person just constantly wanted something something from me. And I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I can't come over. I can't. No, I can't.
Was it Jerry?
No, thank God. Or I'd have
I'm
to
just
move
kidding.
out. So yeah, that continues on. So I need to remember telling that to Luke too, because some things just never change.
Yeah, and then like sometimes your friendships and sometimes you grow out of friendships too. You know, like you just are. You just grow out of friendships.
You do, yeah. I think you mature, even at our age, we mature, continue to mature. I think. And
well, I don't know if it's
in a
mature. I
different
think it's
way.
just like your lives are doing different things, and it doesn't fit anymore. And that doesn't mean that either person's bad. It just means that it just doesn't fit.
That's true. That's a good point. Yes.
So
No, yeah, you just have your interests kind of change, especially like if you have once you have kids and your friends that don't have kids don't understand, or or you're married and you have friends that aren't married, they don't necessarily understand. Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, suck it.
Listen, I can't.
I mean, thanks for your input.
Yeah, right. Kiss my ass.
I think we just pivoted into a different topic than we had originally decided. Like, I guess, like, so what serves you in the moment may be different than what you think serves you, and like how to distinguish that.
So you mean what serves you in the moment versus what serves you in the long term?
No, like maybe something that served you when you were 5 years ago, not 5 years old, silly. Obviously Plato's still cool. No, but like what things have you changed from your life that maybe like didn't serve you, that served you 5 years ago and doesn't serve you now, or even last year served you and doesn't serve you now?
Well, actually, I do have to say, like with the pandemic, that definitely changed, I think, all of our outlooks on things. And I know that now there are certain things that I used to agree to do. Of course, also developing rheumatoid arthritis, that's changed things too, because I'm just physically not able to do some things.
You're cranky.
Yeah, I'm crankier and tireder. But I think that I've learned to say no a lot more, and say no to like we've been saying about certain people that like this friend that I basically unfriended, and then just certain events or gatherings that, like, because Jerry, my husband's super duper social. I mean, he would be on the phone all day
with
long.
a rock.
Yeah, with a rock. Pretty much.
For hours.
And just talk and talk. I mean, he's got a friend that lives down in Orlando who literally, and I recognize his voice and I love him. His friend Jeremy, I love him, absolutely adore him. But it is so funny because I think Jeremy might be like on the road for work, driving somewhere. And so he'll have like a couple hours where he's driving from one place in Florida to another and get on the phone with Jerry. And I'll literally like get up in the morning, say it's 8:00, and then go out into the kitchen again to get lunch at noon. And he's still on the phone with Jeremy.
And he's charged the phone twice.
Exactly.
He's like, walking around with a external battery pack.
I told him, I said, you are like a teenage girl, where it's like you just stay on the phone, talk on the phone. Well, at least teenage girl from my generation. So I think it's energizing for him. Whereas for me, yes, it's a lot of fun, especially certain people and certain gatherings are energizing for me, but they're still kind of exhausting too. And I need to recharge afterwards. Like I can't just do one thing after the next and just go. And to me, like making small talk is exhausting. And I think a lot of people feel that way. But
oh God, I hate it. Like that's the one thing with the pandemic. I've gotten on a few planes and like the not having to talk to your seatmate has been so amazing.
Yes. I hate small, but he is Mr. Small Talk. Well, you know him, but for people listening,
do know him.
Oh, God bless him. Like he would.
Yeah, and his stories are not short ever.
No.
He takes some breaks in between. They're just
yes. I have literally counted. He'll pause. He doesn't listen.
You should start a timer on your phone and just see how long the conversation is and how long the pauses.
Yes, I have counted. Well, the pauses, I counted a 10-second pause, which is a long time. Okay. Like right now. That's approximately 10 seconds, let's just say.
And right when you think you're like, okay, so the story's over. Like, I don't know.
No, it's not over.
No, I'm not sure where he stopped in the story, but I think this is my exit. And you start to go, and he starts talking. You're like, oh.
So anyway, so yeah, then he keeps going. So wait, hold up. You got to hear this other part. And then you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Most of his stories are very entertaining. They're really good and they're very well told, but it's just, yeah.
Probably
so anyways,
less so when he's intoxicated.
Yeah. Well, then, you put a few beers in him and then it's worse.
It's 20 seconds.
Yeah. So that to him, but I've learned like he'll say, oh, you want to go? I'm going to meet so-and-so for a beer. I'm like, you go ahead. I'm fine. I'm good. I'll just stay home. And I think he gets a little bummed because he wants me to go everywhere with him, which is very sweet. And I've learned to say no to him, which has been great because then I have the house to myself. I watch trashy reality TV and he gets his socializing out. So since the pandemic, like I didn't go to any football games last year and he went to all of them here, the Florida State games. And I was kind of like, ooh, my weekend is free. I don't have to go to a football game, even though, again, I enjoy them. But it's an all day affair, man.
My question is, when you unfriend somebody from your life, do you address that you've undressed or
undressed? That's another podcast.
Hello, me. Yeah. Do you address that you've unfriended them, or do you just kind of like hope they don't notice?
Well, with this friend, she's not on Facebook, thankfully, or any social media. So basically, and I haven't quite done this yet. I haven't blocked her because I still feel guilty about blocking her. But I just finally stopped responding to her. Oh. So every once in a while, she'll try and call me or send me a text, and I just ignore her.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Appropriate time, because when you when you see a text, when you open it, they can see you on Apple. They can see you opening it.
Yeah, like and
because it gets in the 3 dots. You have to wait an appropriate amount of time to allow them to stop looking at that text. To open that text.
Yes. And I usually do that. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I all of a sudden ghosted her. I really did try to tell her, look, because she doesn't leave her house. She doesn't have a car right now. She refuses to take Uber. So it's like I always have to go, and she smokes like a chimney. So in her apartment. So not even like outside. And so you're going to the smoky apartment, and it's just like, and I've tried to tell her, I'm like, hey, it's not good for you to smoke. Why don't we go on the porch? You have this great porch. We can go online and buy some cute, patio chairs, and we'll sit out on the patio. And, I mean, I think that part of it is she's kind of depressed. So I feel bad. So she's an energy suck,
Yeah.
She's just one of those people. So then I feel obligated to try and make her feel better. And it's just, so anyway, so I did text her several times saying, look, I'm not feeling well. I don't feel like, I'm going out anywhere today. And and she'll say, oh, you want to come over for a mimosa? Yeah. Vera's favorite drink ever. And, with only a splash of OJ. And, I'll say, I'm not feeling well, and I don't feel like drinking anything today, and sorry. And she'll just keep hounding me, when are you coming over? When are you coming over? And I feel like didn't even really care if I wasn't feeling well,
Yeah, that sucks.
So that's when I eventually, so that's what I did. But if she were on social media, it's a little harder because then you block someone, you unfriend them. It's a lot more noticeable to the other person.
Well, you could just unfollow them so you never see their stuff. And then you can also set your privacy settings to where when you post it, they can't see it. All these things are options.
Yeah.
Because I did, I had, it's been over a decade, so it's not something recent because I just like try not to let people bother me. And I just think it's a natural progression that like I can slowly walk out of the room essentially. And I had some friends that it was just a history. And I was already kind of on the brink of like distancing myself from these people. And then they lied to me and I was like, I'm good. And so I just deleted them and stopped talking to them. And they like went on social media and like were posting on a public page of mine. I was like, oh Lord Jesus.
Oh man, what the hell?
Why do I track these people? Why do I track?
I don't know. You do have like vengeful, like the girl with that one podcast that brought out hundreds of people to rate our podcast badly.
Yeah.
Don't forget to rate our podcast. But yeah, like I was like, I can't believe that she would take the time out of her life to do this. And yeah, and that's not, you've had a few people like that who have just been like, right.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, don't get me wrong. People have wronged me and I've gotten real angry, but I've never started like a coup against this person. Like I've always been like, I mean, outside of one person, I had a really good friend that just kind of like flipped on me. I was like, the hell? And she just really wronged me very, very bad. And I told my family, I was like, unfollow her, don't unfriend her. Like you are not, I will draw, this is where the line is drawn and
she is dead to us.
Yeah. And cause like and I was just like, you have to choose a side and it's gotta be mine or like, we're like, then I'm questioning our friendship because like, I was just wrong so hard.
Yeah.
Like, it came out of nowhere too. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then she came out like a few years later saying that, she was being abused or something. Or I don't know, just, and not that I'm discrediting abuse by any stretch of the imagination, but this was a cycle with her that like she would get in these relationships. And then I was just like, just ignored. And I was like, blatantly like, we can't hang out. And I'm like, okay. So I would back off and then she'd come around after she broke up with him. And I was just like, I'm not doing this cycle anymore. I'm done. Like, that was your choice. You made it. And this is your consequence. And I'm done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that was the only time where I was like very specific with people. I'm like, you cannot, she is not allowed to see any part of my life and you are part of my life. So choose.
Yeah. But you didn't tell them to go post mean things on.
No. I was never like, no. Yeah, absolutely not. Because that's, like, cause she wasn't a bad person, but she just wasn't a good friend to me.
Yeah.
And so,
that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
I needed
exactly.
to be out of that.
Yeah. So, it's a relief.
If you have ideas on how to get people out of your life, please hit us up. Or if you'd like us to be the messenger,
reach out, please. Or you'd like us to be the messenger.
It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's her. I'm happy to make that have that conversation with people. I really
am very sad.
Yeah. And not to be like, I get to hurt somebody, but like, because it's uncomfortable. It is super uncomfortable to tell people that like, maybe this isn't working. And I think that something that has brought the pandemic or has, really solidified the relationships for me in the pandemic is those people that I'm keeping in touch with and that like are actually reaching out to me and asking me how I'm doing. And, the goes both ways. I'm reaching out to them. It's not just a one-way street. And I those people have like come out, like stood out for me. And also I think it's easier to be like, oh, the pandemic. And so I think it grows that divide grows bigger and bigger between those unhealthy relationships. And I think that's helpful.
Yeah. Well, I've realized too, as we've started to socialize a little bit more, as people are getting vaccinated and stuff, like people that I see that I'm like, oh, I really missed seeing so-and-so. Like when you finally do see them, it's like you realize, even though maybe you weren't keeping in total touch with them during the whole thing and there's, but I realized that too. So I've started to kind of categorize people, I think, and realize, those are the people when hopefully everything gets back to quote unquote normal. I want to try and hang out with those people and I want to try and hang out with those people. But this third group over here, I didn't really miss and they didn't, they were just kind of like social fluff.
Yeah. And check yourself too. Maybe you're the one.
maybe you're the one. People realize I'm social fluff.
Maybe somebody is trying to break up with you, friendship wise. So what I would do is maybe reach out to them once vaccines are more available and people are getting more. So like maybe May or June, you might want to, touch base with that person you haven't heard from. And if you don't hear back from them, know that it's over.
Yeah. But wait, maybe they didn't get your text.
Then know it's over. Because then you're probably blocked.
Yeah, right.
So just saying. But it's okay. And it's okay. But that's the thing is like, it's not a loss. Then it wasn't meant to be. And that's okay. It's just like in any relationship, like think about every relationship you've ever been in when you've been broken up with, and maybe you've never been broken up with, and good for you. But, or maybe you're just in denial.
Yeah.
But if you have, if you've been broken up, you usually look back on it in a few years and you're like, oh shit, that was good.
Yeah. That person did me a favor. Yeah. Yeah. I've looked back like that too. Like where I thought I was so brokenhearted, and I'm like, but wait a minute. What about this that happened and that happened? And then, and then he did this, and ew.
For sure. For sure. Well,
or you
sorry. Sorry, I was going to close out on you.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, or you have friends like one of my girlfriends that's like, Dad, why are you crying over that guy? That guy was an a-hole.
Yeah. But I loved him.
I know. No, he was an a-hole. Anyway, sorry. Just said that.
Yeah. If you have any ideas on how to distance yourself from others without being hurtful, because nobody wants to hurt anybody, right? Unless that person's really wronged you really bad, and then maybe it's okay. But it's just going to make you feel better just in the short term. And yeah. So if you have any ideas, hit us up on Facebook at I Can't Mom Today Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, Gmail. I Can't Mom Today Podcast at gmail.com. Rate our podcast because
we're still battling the coup from the evil friend that Heather.
But the better reviews are showing up. The more recent reviews are showing up, and you can.
Oh yeah, thankfully, for sure. Exactly.
Until next time. Bye. Bye.